Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports Show on this Monday. We start a new work week, but we get to look back and relive a little bit of what happened in NFL Week 8. It was a thrilling one, especially if you're a Commanders fan. If you're a Bears fan, not maybe so much. Crazy day, crazy collection of games yesterday. We just had a massive bit of fallout today, whether it's for the New England Patriots making a trade, Kansas City Chiefs acquiring Josh Uche from the Patriots, Anthony Richardson apologizing, coming out now. The Colts are coming out now saying that they're evaluating the quarterback position. Obviously, the Tyreek Stevenson film and what that's going to do to the Bears moving forward, that loss, and also what it's going to do to his psyche because he was supposed to be a starter. Just a crazy NFL Sunday, and fortunately, the week isn't over just yet, as we have Monday Night Football in just a few hours as the Pittsburgh Steelers host the New York Giants, a matchup where everyone already knows what the heavy trends are. Daniel Jones, terrible in primetime. Steelers in a Monday night game. They haven't lost at home in a Monday night game in decades. Which trend is either trend going to break? Both trends obviously on one side. So it seems everyone's on the side of the Steelers. We'll let you know if we're agreeing with that. Here to help you guys out with your fantasy football needs for the next week. We are already starting to look ahead to NFL Week 9. So if you have fantasy football questions, throw them in the comment section for NFL Week 9. Additionally, we will also talk some World Series Game 3. Obviously, the Bronx is going to be buzzing tonight as the Yankees host the Dodgers. Money's been swinging back and forth on this one. We'll talk a bit about the betting opportunities that come about from that game. Great to have you with us. Wonderful to have you with us on this Monday. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe across all of our platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Great to have you with us. Let's get to work, everyone. Brent, hello. I hope you're having an amazing day. I am. Really hope Neighbors get some points tonight. I just need 5. Think you'll get to 5, especially in a PPR league. Toby, time to drop Anthony Richardson. Should I go Bo Nix over him? The answer is yes. Anthony Richardson isn't just disappointing fantasy owners. He's disappointing the Colts. Now, that said, there is a bit of good news for the Colts if they go to Flacco. They're facing the Vikings that have been a terrible pass defense. So if I were the Colts, I'd start Flacco against the Vikings this week. Let Anthony Richardson kind of live with his tap-out comment. And I think it would be a very successful week for Flacco. So, Toby, I do think it's time to sit Richardson. Kyle Klein, thanks for reminding us it's a sports equinox. For those that don't know what that is, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey all being played all today. It's a great time to be alive, everybody. Brent, what do you think of the NFC West and Rams all neck and neck? I'm really impressed by the Cardinals getting that win on the road yesterday. I think the Rams have no reason to be sellers now with the trade deadline. I think it dramatically changed what the NFC West is going to be and what it's going to become. I thought the Seahawks looked anemic without DK Metcalf, and I do think that was a little disheartening for some of their fans because they thought they would at least have more of a fight against the Bills. So the NFC West is wide open. If I were the Rams, I would continue to hold on to my assets and go for it. Cleo the band, trade either Kyren or Achan for either Gibbs or Bijan. The answer is yes. I would trade Achan. Achan's value has come back to life. I would trade it because I only think it has a pulse as long as Tua Tagovailoa is healthy. Noob DK drop Lockett for Downs. I think so, especially with the matchup that they have this week, Noob DK against the Vikings, and especially if Joe Flacco becomes the starter, which there is a possibility of it. A. Stanley 1580. Would you trade Olave and Connor for Walker and Charbonnet? No, I don't want to double up on the same backfield, A. Stanley. That doesn't seem like a good use of my assets. D. Drop Pop for Tillman. I really think it depends on the matchup week to week. The Patriots this week are going up against the Tennessee Titans. I know they got absolutely cooked by the Lions last week, but that's a decent pass defense. D. I'd probably say yes. I'd probably go Tillman over Pop, at least for now. Cards 1919 shelf mixin this week. Houston Texans going up against the New York Jets this week. Absolutely not. Quite the contrary. You got to start Joe Mixon. Jets have been awful against the run. Just a really bad run defense so far this year. and even more concerning, especially in the red zone, they've been a bad run defense. So, no, I would start Joe Mixon this week. By the way, especially with Stephon Diggs potentially having an ACL injury that ends his season, more carries for Mixon, more usage for him, more in the passing game as well. Brando, will Daniel Jones throw for over 150 passing yards today? I lean towards yes, but haven't done a lot with it. Aiden first, am I worried about Love? Well, it depends what your relationship situation is. I'm just playing. I would be a little bit concerned about Love in this regard. This is his second injury of the season, so I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to bounce back. But do I think Jordan Love is maybe a little injury prone? Yeah, I do. Diego, Deontay Johnson, the Panthers might part ways per Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee show. It was Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show, but you're absolutely right. Deontay Johnson, they're going to trade him, so it's just about who needs somebody. Interestingly enough, the team that really needs a wide receiver are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, their relationship with Deontay Johnson isn't good. That's why he's a Carolina Panther. So, where does Deontay Johnson go now that a lot of other teams have already made their wide receiver moves? Kyle, rest of season, pick 2, Mahomes, Goff, or Tua. I'm leaning towards Mahomes and Goff. Goff is going to play a lot of indoor games. Feel really good about that. Mahomes, I just feel better about his durability. It's not that Tua can't have good games. It's that with each play, I'm worried that Tua is literally going to be able to walk, let alone walk off the field. Stephen McCabe, who should I try to get for Brees? I have K9, and my only weakness is bench running backs. Is K9 your RB1? I wouldn't sell on Brees Hall. I just wouldn't do it. Jets may be a mess, but his value is continuing to go up and up and up and up and up. Toby, thoughts on Bucky and White rest of season? They both had 15 points last week. I think Rachaad White's value has been resuscitated. I thought Bucky was going to be RB1 rest of season. If you watch the show consistently, you know I kind of moved on to Bucky a few weeks ago and believed he was going to be RB1. But with the wide receivers going down for Tampa Bay, that means that they need to pass the ball more to running backs, and Rachaad White is their best receiving running back. So I think Rachaad White's values come back. I still think Bucky's RB1, but at this point, I almost think it's an equal value, kind of like how Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery almost have equal value in Detroit. I would say the same about Bucky and Rachaad White. Obviously not as many points as the duo in Detroit, but a similar structure of offense. Alan Orta, would it be better to sell high on McConkey or to keep him for depth? I would sell high on him. I love what you're saying. I love how you're thinking about it. I would sell high on him. The reason for that is I haven't seen enough from him. I know he had a monster game this week, but I haven't seen enough from him to actually believe that that's going to be the norm. I feel like you could get really good value for him right now. And wide receiver is a position where I can find someone who's going to put up similar value week to week. I think now's a good time to move on from him and make a trade. McConkey, the matchup against the Saints was a favorable one. He plays the Cleveland Browns, then he plays Tennessee, 2 tough matchups. He does play Cincinnati and the Ravens, so 2 tough matchups followed by 2 good matchups. But the whole point is, I do think Ladd McConkey is a good sell now candidate. Diego, I'm mixing them up all the time. Aiden first, is Kupp a good rest of season wide receiver? Yes. As long as Matthew Stafford is healthy and Cooper Kupp are healthy and they're in the same Sean McVay offense, I'll bet on them almost every time. Ray, Jaden Daniels for MVP. I think that conversation's a little bit overblown, but I think it now has traction because he has a signature play of the year. But honestly, I have to start calling out Josh Allen. I have to start saying what's up. I mean, Josh Allen's thrown like 1 interception? I'm not a huge Josh Allen guy, but the Buffalo Bills are, they gave up on they traded their number 1 wide receiver in the offseason. They've shifted their offense. They're using a lot of new pieces. Only Shakir had caught a pass from Josh Allen prior to the start of the year. I think Josh Allen's let me put it this way. If I was like everything I've seen so far, yeah, Jaden Daniels is in the conversation. If I were to make a bet, who would I predict to win the MVP this year? Right now, I'm going to take Josh Allen. I think he's kind of in the dark horse area, right as you want him right now in the season. CJ, would you trade Russell Wilson, Waddle, Eckler, Pacheco for Kyler and Deontay Johnson in a 2 QB format? I mean, it really depends on where Deontay Johnson's going. That's close. CJ, that's close. I don't care about Eckler. I'm almost worried about Pacheco coming back. The answer is I'm good with the trade. CJ, I'm good with the trade. I'd rather do the Kyler and Deontay Johnson side because until I know what Pacheco's value is going to be, he's given me nothing for at least a few more weeks, so I think there's value in the deal. Temulima, trade Hill and Connor for St. Brown and Jones. Yes and yes. I'd rather own St. Brown and Aaron Jones, I think, for rest. I may take that back, actually. Temulima, I may take that back. The reason I take that back is we need to adjust our thinking about Aaron Jones and the run game of the Minnesota Vikings with no Darashaw there. That offensive line's much different. I don't know how I feel about Aaron Jones now. I'm going to stick with the Hill and Connor side for now. Temulima, I'm going to stick with the Hill and Connor side for now. Frito, do I start Njoku and Pitts again? Well, I certainly think we take things week to week, so it's not automatic for either side. Kyle Pitts going up against the Dallas defense. That seems to be a pretty good one, especially for tight ends. Just asked Kittle from last night. As for Njoku, he's facing the Chargers. Not a great matchup, but might be decent with Jameis Winston continuing to throw him the ball. Frito, it depends what your other options are. I'd like to know more about your lineup. Aiden, I'm up by 2 and my opponent has nobody. Do I bench Freiermuth just in case? I mean, some people do that. If you want to do that, that's fine. I think it's really puss, personally. Aiden, forgive me, but I think it's super puss. I think it's like, have the balls to, start a lineup. So, if you want to, it guarantees a win. Go for it. By the way, sometimes in some leagues it actually matters running up as many points as you can, but Trevor, James Conner, and Jay Reed for Cooper Kupp. I'd rather have Conner and Reed. Runner 666, Saints D versus the Panthers or Eagles defense next week. It's a great question. Philadelphia next week is going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think without Christian Kirk, that gets really dicey, but I'm still leaning slightly, I think, towards the Saints for the moment. But runner 666, we're going to learn a lot about who the Panthers are starting at quarterback, what's the health status of members of the Saints. So we're going to learn a lot in the next few days. Barack, I think the MVP race is Josh Allen, Lamar, and Jaden Daniels. I think it's unfortunate that Patrick Mahomes is right now, amongst the leaders of the MVP because he really hasn't been MVP despite the fact that his team's undefeated. Brent, for week 9, Murray or CJ Stroud? Well, I wouldn't go CJ Stroud. He just lost Diggs. He's going up against the Jets. Jets are still a very good pass defense. I'd go with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's matchup against the Chicago Bears is just a little bit more favorable. So if we look ahead, I'd go Kyler Murray for next week there, Brent. Hope you guys are enjoying the content, enjoying the show. Don't know how much longer we're going to stay on. I know Mondays are always kind of an awkward day, depending on how good the Monday night game is, and tonight's not a very good one. Donnie Kane, pick 2, rest of season, Puka, London, or Hill. I'd go London and Hill. I haven't seen enough from Puka and his ability to stay healthy. Hill has been healthy. It's just whether Tua can be on the field. And Drake London's been a stud all year. So I'm leaning Hill and London, but it's nice to have all 3 if you can. Jason, should I shop trades for DJ Moore? I would shop it. I don't know if I'd pull the trigger on it, but I'm certainly curious to know what people are offering. Butt Fumble Sports Enjoyer, how do you feel about Jaden Reed rest of season? I'm just very high on him. I like how they use him in a multitude of ways. Yesterday did not go as expected, but once Jordan Love went out, the game changed. He had his best play, actually, with Malik Willis on the field. But that said, I'm still very high on him. I'm not worried about, weeks that he has a down week because how they utilize him. And a lot of it has to do with how Matt LaFleur actually designs and operates and builds an offense. It's very much for Jaden Reed to succeed. Parker, Tyreek Hill, and Olave for London and James Cook. I'd rather have the London and Cook side, so I'll say yes to the deal, Parker. Like the deal. Jay Bird, what to do with Jordan Mason? Try and trade him. I tried to trade Jordan Mason right now. They've already let it be known that Christian McCaffrey hasn't had any setbacks, and they're expecting him to come after the bye week. San Francisco's bye is in week 10, I believe. So San Francisco plays the Rams. Yeah, San Francisco plays the... they have the bye this week. San Francisco's on a bye this week. I try to trade Mason because by the time they get back, they're going to be able to obviously use Christian McCaffrey, which changes everything when it comes to Jordan Mason's value. Blake, trade Pickens and Swift for Gibbs. I would say yes, but you might want to see how Russell Wilson does, how Pickens does with Russell Wilson for another game. Frito, I have Shakir, Pittman, Wandale, and Madison. Gotcha, okay. Ivan, Lamb, Connor, Bigsby for my St. Brown and Barkley. I'd rather have St. Brown and Barkley. Sam, I am pick up Winston or Stafford. So the Rams this week. The Rams go up against Seattle. And your other one was the Browns go up against the Chargers. I'm going to lean towards Matt Stafford. Sam, I would pick up Matt Stafford this week. Arian, St. Brown for Nico and Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm 4-4. I like the deal because when Nico comes back, you definitely win that trade. Runner 666, would you pick up Myers over Browns wide receivers? If Jerry Jeudy were out there, I'd certainly consider it. The Raiders this week are going up against... Cincinnati. Cincinnati's been kind of hot and cold in the passing game. Myers could have a good game this week, but then they're on a bye. So I'm just kind of leaning towards the Browns wide receiver side if you get someone good. Jay Bird, good call on the Garrett Wilson receptions and Mixon touchdown. We do what we can. We actually had a great week for our picks. For those that sign up for our free newsletter, we are, I believe, 7-1 on our picks so far for our newsletter, if I'm not mistaken. Recapping the picks we made in the newsletter. The game picks at least. We got Texans -1.5 correct. Packers money line correct. Packers Jaguars over correct. The only thing we missed on was Jets -3.5, and they should have done that. We had Falcons money line. We got Titans Lions over. We got Bills money line. We got Bills Seahawks under. We had Broncos -6.5. We had Cowboys +8.5. We had Cowboys +8.5. I love that. Tonight we have Steelers -2.5. So far, pretty darn good for our week. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh, we did even better than I thought. So we're 9-1 with one left. So pretty darn good. Butt Fumble Sports doing a good job for you folks out there. Yeah, Toby. I hope we did well by you this week as well. Kobe Lee, start 2, Mooney, Robinson, Higgins, or Olave. I am going to kind of, I'm starting to look ahead, but I'm not quite there yet to kind of pick between a group of 4 players, Kobe, because I wanted, there's a lot of variables going on there, like who's the quarterback for the Saints? Is T. Higgins healthy enough to go? I think Brian Robinson Jr. at this point is probably a good start no matter what. He's a strong play, but I think there's a lot of things we got to wait on. So before I overreact to anything, let's just take a quick deep breath, okay? Hey, how you doing? Eli, Hurts or I don't really want. I got to admit, I wanted to answer questions, but I thought they would be more like waiver wire questions. I don't really want to answer starter sit questions for next week because I feel like I don't have enough data, and I'd be giving you a false impression so early in the week. Kolb, I feel good about Tyreek Hill. Hold on to him. The old man, Pacheco for Dobbins. Great question. So, Chargers over the next few weeks going up against the Browns, Titans, Bengals, Ravens, Falcons. I lean yes because I don't know when Pacheco's value comes back, but I don't feel great about it long term this season. Brenna Ford, should I drop CJ Stroud for someone else, for maybe Stafford or Purdy? The answer is yes. I don't like CJ Stroud's value right now. Nico, Kraft for Chase Brown. I have McBride. Yep, I would do that if you have a need for running back. Manny C, feelings on Hall, seller keep. Jake, Cup for Kenneth Walker. Interesting idea. I'm not opposed to it actually. I think it's probably a fair deal. How do you feel about Olave week 9 last time he matched up Carolina, got 3 points? I don't know who the quarterback is, so that's going to hold us off. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. We will be back a little bit later tonight. We are going to do a subscriber-only show, so make sure you join us then. Subscriber-only show tonight, so make sure you join us tonight for that. Okay, guys? We'll catch you guys a little bit